Welcome everyone. This is Mike McGhee from Nutanix Technical Marketing, and I'm going to step you through how easy it is to get started with Nutanix Files. Nutanix Files is a native part of the Nutanix Enterprise Cloud, so management operations, including initial deployment, upgrades, and growth are all managed from Prism. If we go to the File Server menu, we can perform a deployment of Nutanix Files. All Nutanix clusters include a 1 terabyte license of Nutanix Files, so this is something you can do today in your existing environment. Every file server cluster represents a single namespace, so we'll specify the name and the domain on the basics page. We can also specify the size of the file server. It can be allowed to consume some or all storage on this Nutanix cluster based on this setting. Everything is thin provisioned, so nothing is reserved with this setting. We then specify the size of the file server cluster. The default is to create 3 file server VMs with 4 vCPU and 12 gigs of memory each, but we can customize this configuration based on either manual or performance-based parameters. For this configuration, I'm expecting around 2,000 concurrent users. You can see our sizing best practices are applied, and it's recommending 4 file server VMs with a bit more memory, so that looks good. For the next piece, we'll specify our client network. This is the client-facing network, and this happens to be an AHV cluster with IP address management, so the IPs will be automatically assigned. We'll also specify our storage network, which provides storage services to the file server VMs. Next, we'll configure our protocol capabilities and directory services. We can serve both SMB and NFS from the same file server cluster. In this case, we'll select Active Directory as the authentication method for both SMB and NFS. Finally, we can choose to leverage native Nutanix data protection technologies to create snapshots of the underlying file server and optionally replicate these snapshots to another cluster for disaster recovery purposes. I only have to hit create, and in roughly 15 minutes, I'll have a file server cluster ready for use. Thanks to Files being a native part of the Nutanix architecture, deployment is really just that simple. Thanks for watching.